Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new film review kind of thing. This is a basically unscripted ramble about the brand new James Bond film, No Time to Die. It's a totally spoiler-free ramble, but if you want to go in the film totally blind, which is totally valid, then I'd probably obviously not watch this video. We're going to be talking about minor story points and all that sort of thing. I was very lucky enough to be invited to a press screening for No Time to Die earlier this evening, so that's exciting, and now I get to talk about it with you guys. For those who aren't aware, I do film reviews on my podcast called Spill Your Beans. This little mini bonus episode thing will be going live there as well, in case you want to turn this video off and just listen to it on there. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. Let's talk about No Time to Die. So this film's a bit of a weird one with James Bond. James Bond films are something I quite enjoy. There hasn't been one in quite a few years, but I do enjoy them and I do get a lot out of them. They're fun, they're classic, they're a bit cheesy, but they're great, and this one is absolutely no exception to that. It is a pretty solid film though. I'd probably start off by just saying it's, I think, my second favourite Daniel Craig one, obviously below Skyfall, which is just towers above the rest, but I think I preferred this to all the others, and maybe that's a bit of a hot take because, you know, whatever, Casino Royale was great, obviously, Spectre was pretty good, Quantum of Solace exists, but I think this does kind of top them a little bit, maybe even just slightly, but this has a lot going for it, maybe a lot going for it that I can't specifically talk about in this, but it definitely has a lot going for it. So let's start off with the main man himself. It's his last James Bond film, and that is Daniel Craig. And Daniel Craig did an absolute phenomenal job in this film. He was great. Probably one of my favourite Bond performances from him yet. He's got the sort of the balance of that sort of comedy and action and just sort of everything James Bond he manages to get down to a T. And I think this is probably one of, if not his best James Bond performance. Personally, for me, yeah, I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. But maybe that's because I've just binged all the other Daniel Craig Bond films and I'm in a bit of a craze at the moment. I don't really know. But I thought he was great in this film. And, you know, he didn't drop out. He didn't feel too old or anything. He felt sort of perfect for it. And it's great to see him go out on a high, basically. So in terms of the film synopsis, I don't want to give away too much, but this might give away a few minor little spoilers, so just beware of that. Bond's retired, obviously he left MI6 in the last film, and he is lovely, he's retired, and he gets recruited by Felix Leiter in this film to sort of investigate a case that's kind of ongoing, a case of something that could potentially kill a lot of people around the world, and it is being controlled by a mysterious someone. It just so happens that MI6 are also investigating this very same case, hence why it kind of clashes with James Bond and MI6, and, you know, does he join back, does he stay retired, does he do this, does he do that? That's part of the thrill of the story, and actually the reason that that's relevant, I'm not going to go into any more detail with that, but it makes it a very interesting story because Bond's never really done that before. Yes, he's retired, yes, he's walked off, yes, he's done all these things before, but what he hasn't done is kind of, at the beginning of the film, be retired. At least I don't think. I haven't seen all the Bond films, by the way, so I'm jumping to conclusions, potentially. But I thought it was a very unique angle to explore, and they definitely did a lot with that. They definitely really played into that and kind of went for it in terms of that concept of Bond being retired and still kind of fighting for it, still kicking. And I quite liked that concept, and it worked very well thematically for this film. The supporting cast were great. You know, nothing really stuck out. Specifically, I thought Rami Malek, obviously who plays the villain, did a brilliant job. And I think he did a great performance. My only criticism there is I think Rami Malek's character in the film, who I seem to have forgotten the name of all of a sudden, was probably one of my least favourite Bond villains of recent years. I don't feel that enough was done with him. But the performance was great. I just feel that maybe something more could have been done there. I didn't really see him as a deeply imposing figure in this film, even though he really should be. But that being said, you know, it's a weird one because the story I love. I think the story works really, really well. I just think Rami Malek's character could have done with a bit more to it. Beyond that, I don't really want to say too much, but the music was very, very good. There was a lot of homages to classic Bond in there. As you may know from the currently released soundtracks, they do homage a few things from On Her Majesty's Secret Service and that soundtrack and the music in that, which is brilliant. It's very well utilised, and Hans Zimmer does a fantastic job with the rest of the score. Beyond just homages, he's brilliant. Please come back. Please do it again. He's great. The title sequence was brilliant. A solid opening. Probably not one of my favourites personally, but it was It was cool. A few, again, homages to classic Bond. This film had a lot of those. I really liked that feeling that it had with it. Beyond this, I don't really want to say much else. I think it had a very entertaining opening. That's something else that I just kind of thought of. I don't want to get into spoilers because weirdly this film, really, you do not want to know much about this film going into it. I think if I say much more, it might affect your guys' experience watching it, but please, go and watch this. Try not to get it spoiled online. It is really, really worth the wait for how long it's been delayed and how long it's been since Spectre. It's worth the wait. It's not a perfect film, it's not the best Bond film of all time, it's not the best film of all time, but it is a great Bond outing and a really nice high for Daniel Craig to end his Bond tenure on, and that for me is the most important thing. I think it was a great film, and I think it's worth seeing, so go watch it, basically, and try not to get it spoiled beforehand. Thanks so much for listening / watching to this little ramble review kind of thing. I'll talk more about my thoughts on the film when it's officially released in cinemas. Maybe not with spoilers, but maybe I'll say a little bit more as the weeks go on. I've definitely got a lot of strong opinions about this film, which I'll definitely be able to get out there. So if you're not already, please do follow my Twitter @GBSheard if you'd like to see more of those in the near future. If you're watching on YouTube, please follow my Spotify podcast Spill Your Beans. We're going to be starting this weekend again with a brand new series of podcasts with full hour-and-a-half long podcast reviews with special guests. We're going to have film commentaries. We're going to have all sorts of stuff, and it's very, very exciting. So please go and follow that. And if you're listening on Spotify, feel free to head over to my YouTube, George Sheard, and subscribe there as well. Thanks so much for watching / listening, and I will see you all very soon with some more film-related content. Bye-bye.